Why is a man with a super problematic background writing romance? There are abuse allegations, court mandated anger management, being a nuisance to homeless people. Why is he writing a book, Francesca?
Because we're in the bad place.
Always, and it's always in romance. In case you're not
Mm-hmm.
familiar with what's going on, there is a new book, Summer Skate, that is coming out rather. It's a hockey romance. Readers seem to be excited, but for some reason, they are very unaware about who the author is. The author is Sean Avery, former NHL player, but again, just lots of problematic headlines and news and bad behavior following this author. As you can see here, this headline from ESPN.com, their news series. We also have another headline from ET Online. And of course, the one with him just harassing homeless people in NYC. But here's the thing. There is an author who brought this to our attention, okay? This author in question is Emily Rath. Emily has a video on TikTok. It's 4 minutes long. I skipped the first minute and we're just going to jump straight into her telling you who this person is. And again, I'm including a link in the video's description so you can go ahead and listen. And we are including this in our video. We're doing it under fair use because we are reporting on this, we're criticizing, and we have thoughts. So I'm just going to let author Emily Rath share because she does it best.
So if you are unfamiliar with who Sean Avery is, and this is the issue, is that people are not going to Google. They're not going to Google. You're not going to Google.
Pause. Listen, she is absolutely right. Read facts.
We don't Google. We don't like to Google. I know it.
Facts.
Yes.
But let's continue.
You're not going to do your work and you're not going to see what a monster piece of shit this man is. And so you see now that he found someone in Leslie Cohen that was willing to co-author, whatever that means. I don't know what this relationship looks like between them.
Pause. So the co-author, I'm going to go on a limb with a theory. My theory is her agent probably introduced her to him, or his agent is friends with her agent, or maybe they share the same agent. And maybe she has no idea who this man really is. And it's just, oh, I think you two should write this book together. Oh, you're a writer. He has a hockey background and all the things. I'm going on a limb and giving her the benefit of the doubt. Do you think she knew who he is?
I don't know that I'm going to give her that much benefit of the doubt. There could be a connection from like an agent, like putting them together. However, on her bio, she says that she is a huge fan of the New York Rangers, which is the team that he was playing on. So either that's a lie and she just put it there because she's writing a hockey romance, or she knows very well who he is. One of the two.
Okay. We're going to continue with author Emily Rath.
Co-authoring a book that is literally centering the cheating trope, so do with that as you will. Co-authoring a cheating trope book using his experience as a former NHL player. And we need to talk about what his track record is as a former NHL player.
Actually, pause it for a second. So there's a lot of books with cheating, which there's people that love it. Great, whatever. However, when I looked into this particular book, is not just cheating, because apparently the hero, the hockey player, is like the super young, and what people are saying is that usually will be either 18 to 20 for the hero, and the heroine is much older and married.
Ooh.
There is also a bit of it's not just cheating. I would say there's also a bit of questionable situation there. Let's continue.
Okay, let's continue.
His tenure in the NHL, he was so deeply problematic. He was so obscene when it came to the way that he talked about his exes, right? Women that he was romantically engaged to in the past.
Pause. Listen, any man, red flag for all my women out there, any man who talks smack about his ex, red flag, because he will talk smack about you. And I find it so interesting because the target demographic for romance is women. Do men read romance? Absolutely. Men, gays, they, everybody reads romance. I get it. But the primary demographic has historically been women. And you're a person who on record is talking trash about the women in your life, but you're writing a book for women? Make it make sense. Okay, let's continue.
That the NHL commissioner himself had to come out and ban him from the NHL because it was so disgusting the way that he spoke. The NHL commissioner himself, not even just his team, the NHL commissioner said, get the fuck out of here. Get out. His ex-wife and his child currently have restraining orders out against him.
Okay, pause. Listen, ex-wife and child. Listen, I know people out here are going to be like, oh, the women, blah, 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 blah. We don't know. But if a court grants a restraining order, not just for the woman, but the child, because here's the thing, courts are not ready to like put orders in place that split parents and their children up. What will always try to facilitate parental time with the child. The fact the child too has a restraining order.
And the thing is that, at least from my knowledge in whatever states I've lived, that is not an easy thing. Like, it's Something had to have happened, because they don't just grant restraining orders for no reason or for the possibility of something. Something had to have happened. And there was enough proof there that a judge said, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And like you said, for the child to also have one, because I've also known occasions where the woman will have a restraining order, but then they still have to figure out how that child is going to have visitation with the father. Sounds very sketch to me.
Very sketch. But let's continue.
For abuse. The ex-wife alleges abuse against her and the child, okay? And those restraining orders have been upheld by the court. He is not allowed access to them. This is who's co-authoring this book. This is who found anyone who was willing to pick up a pen and help him write a hockey romance that they are now attempting to shove down our throats. They have the publishing deal. It's up on the websites for pre-order. And what I am here to tell you is that if you are any fan of mine, you will not be platforming this book. Please do not consider what I am doing now as platforming. I am educating. I'm educating because I'm having my readers come to me.
Pause. 100%. She's not platforming. She's educating the masses. She educated me. And I'm going to go out and say, it's not just people who are fans of her, just anyone who is a fan of the genre. You should not be okay with this.
No.
You should not be okay with this.
No.
Anyway, it's wild. But anyway, we're going to let Emily finish. We're near the end.
Asking me if I've heard about it, thinking that it's a great and fun idea, asking if I'm excited about it, right? And I don't want anyone to think, if you have asked me about it, I'm not upset with you. I swear I'm not upset with you. This is how the marketing works. I'm not upset with you. I love you. I love my readers. I respect my readers. Knowledge is power. We need to know what we're consuming. We need to Google things, all right? We need to research Sean Avery before we read a book by Sean Avery, okay? We are not platforming this. We are not promoting this in any way. We are avoiding it with everything we have because we do not fuck with dangerous, violent men.
Amen. Okay. Amen. Again, she is out here doing the work, educating the masses, educating me. But also, I am laughing at the fact that she's like, we need to Google. Because
oh my God, please. If there's one thing that people need to take away, is just Google is your friend. You need to put anything through Google, especially in like times like this. There's so much, just all kinds of stuff. You need to fact check. You need to see who people are. And especially if like in a real life situation too, like I hope women also know that they need to be Google whoever they're like dealing with in real life. Just Google is always going to be your friend.
Do a quick Google.
Yes, please.
And invest in a background check.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. Especially when it's starting to get serious.
Yeah.
And if you're going to start doing some introductions, I'm telling you, invest in a light background check. You don't have to go too deep. Just
But in this day and age, I feel like it's a must. It's a must.
Listen, we also had other authors chiming in as well. Also on Threads, we had Victoria Denault sharing that Sean Avery co-wrote a hockey romance book. In case you're unaware who Avery is, he's a retired NHL player who harasses homeless people, has been charged with criminal mischief and ordered to take anger management courses, has made heinous comments about his exes, and has a restraining order against him for child abuse against his only child and emotional abuse against his ex-wife. Do not read this book, support this man, and shame on his co-author helping him invade our space for a quick buck. Again, harsh words, however, rightfully so. Again, I'm going to go on a limb and say, I don't think this woman knew his backstory because I don't see it making sense. Am I naive, Fran?
I think the money made sense.
The money made sense.
I don't know if I give her the benefit of the doubt because, like I said, either she was lying about being a fan of the team or so. I think the money looks nice. The money looks nice to her.
Okay, maybe she's a light fan. You know them ways, like you're a light fan. So you show up to the games, but you don't really pay attention to the news about it. Like you're not in the fandom rabbit hole.
But usually, have you been to a hockey game?
No.
Or met hockey? They are rabid. They are rabid fans. And I lived in New York. I've gone to games. I've gone to Rangers games. I've gone to New York Islanders games. Like, and especially like those two hate each other. So like Rangers fan is you're like, I don't know if you can be like.
Okay, pause. How would you compare it to NFL? Because in my mind, people are bonkers about the NFL. I've recently gotten into it and all the things. I feel like the fans are savage. Would you say the fandom is the same, similar, worse?
I would say the fandom is even more rabid.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion.
I remember seeing the hockey romance people on the internet and just how hard they go. So I am guessing, maybe she knew, maybe she didn't. I'm really interested to see where this goes from here.
But I also feel like more than keeping harping on like how she's helping him and all of this stuff. We got to talk about the publisher, because this is not an indie published book. This is from a publisher, a big 5 New York publisher. And I find it completely disturbing that this is being published through them, being a romance. And like even the, you know, what we talked about before, yes, it's got the cheating, but like the how and the what and all of that, and by who. So once you put all of that together and you're telling me that these are the thoughts or ideas that are coming out of this type of person, that has no place being published in romance and being sold to women.
No, that's a good point. I think from the publisher point of view, because they do have resources, where is legal? That is now my new question. Where is legal? Because at the end of the day, I would want to believe you do a light background check. The same way I'm telling people, if you're out here dating, do a light background check when you decide like, okay, you know, we're going to put a ring on this. We're taking things to the next level. We're moving in. Forget the ring. My bad. We are moving in.
They're giving a check.
Right?
They are giving that check. They need to make sure that check money is coming back. So they should be checking things out.
My thing is, the second contract negotiation started, I would think someone would do a light background check, because a light Google and a light background check would reveal this man's history.
You wouldn't even have to pay an investigator to dig that up. They could have just put the name on Google and Google. It's there.
So my question to the publisher is, why, knowing this person's background, and look, I'm not out here saying people can't change, but we're not seeing any evidence of change. And especially when you're a public figure, hate to break it to you, you can't change behind the scenes. You need to change on Front Street, because all the negative stuff about you is still on Front Street. So I'm very interested to see if the publisher is going to make a statement. I'm also very interested to see if his co-author is going to make a statement, because at the end of the day, I think the momentum will only grow. This book is slated to come out in the fall. So we will see what happens as it relates to the new release Summer Skate that is forthcoming by Sean Avery and Leslie Cohen, a hockey romance. Readers are excited, but author Emily Rath said, listen, Google, do a light Google, everyone, because this is hella problematic.
Yeah.
But as always, we love to hear your thoughts. So please share them with us in the comments. Did you hear about this book? Are you familiar with this NHL player? Give us the tea on hockey. I mean, Francesca shared it with me, but look, I don't know these things. So let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.